Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Divulgence. Great to see everybody here. It's been a while. Very happy to bring back my friend, researcher, author, podcaster, filmmaker, William Ramsey. William, good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back, Jordan. Glad to be with you.
Of course, man. Always good to see you. So I'm excited for our talk today. All of our talks. I'm quite excited because you do great research, as I've said. And today we're going to be looking at deviant art as it connects to Epstein, and then if we might get into some other connections with other people and other movies and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of our main focus, the whole Epstein thing, and I'm sure people are familiar with some of the deviant art when it comes to, for example, the Podestas or the Pizzagate thing or Elephantis. So yeah, kind of pretty much, I would say it goes a lot into that kind of stuff, focusing more on Jeffrey Epstein. So, William, where should we begin, my friend?
That's a great tie-in. I mean, I think it's like the Podesta files. People discovered these guys were into weird stuff. The brother, Tony Podesta, was into that tortured statue that was hung up in the middle of his place, amongst other strange things on the wall. And I think it was John Podesta had the one of the cannibalism depiction, right, in the background of his office. Like, he didn't have anything else on the wall, but just some really weird, sterile thing. So I think that it's an insight. These pictures are an insight into the personality and the psychology. So I think that they're very important. So I think, is that you?
Nope.
Can't hear that, huh?
I heard it, but it's not me.
Huh. Anyway, it sounds like somebody's like playing cards or something.
Yeah, playing on a keyboard. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think it's an insight, and I think that Epstein was into the art world. He definitely had art connections, knew a lot of different people, and I think that that's kind of like what he did, and his connections are involved in other people who are known in the common culture. So I think that it provides interesting insight because he's really is involved in acquiring pieces. So he wasn't kind of a passive collector. He was definitely involved in the art world, art studios, venues, things like that. And you see it reflected through all of this, all of his emails and his communications and things like that. So I think that also it ties into our earlier talk. If people hadn't heard the Blink Twice episode, I'll show stuff from this Blink episode that ties into this talk. So I think you'll find that interesting.
Cool. Do you want me to pull what do you want to pull up first?
Well, we can just start with the slides I sent you. Do you want me to do it?
No, I can pull them up. Got them right here. Here we go.
This is just kind of an interesting thing that was posted on X about how the art world really works. It's like tax-free havens. So there's a lot of incentives in collecting and trading arts, and it's a way to launder money too. So you see weird things with Hunter Biden, if you remember him, like his homemade art pieces, they're paying $500,000 for those. And then you can make loans on those valuations. So if the valuations are appraised at a higher level, you can actually have a loan, and then you can default on the loan in the art that you made for $10 or whatever in your studio. You just accrue to yourself. Yeah, you can do all kinds of fun stuff like that.
That's wild. He's definitely doing that. He's pulling that kind of crap.
So, and you never see that. The bank takes a loss, or whoever takes a loss supposedly, and the guy ends up with all the money. Like, okay, whatever. So there's all kinds of strange things. There's not lack of taxation. There's tax havens. And that's what Jeffrey Epstein kind of cut his bones on at Bear Stearns back in the day, is he was in a special thing under a guy by the name of, I think, Max Greenberg. He was in like the special things where he knew about offshoring funds and tax things, tax shelters, and other things like that. So these guys were all into doing a lot of that stuff. So that's really the first slide there. The second one is like this 2 chicken slide that depicts human bodies. Yeah. We talked about the code words and jerky and stuff like that. So you see the similar dark themes and things like that. And you see all these other kind of things. They are also kind of pirates. They seem to be stealing other people's art. There's other things within these emails of people's art being lifted or borrowed or taken without their consent, without the consent of the artist or things like that. So it's just all things. One of the guys, Tara, says that James Elephantis Pegasus Museum. That's right. And Elephantis had a European contact or European something in Berlin or something like that. So they were shipping art in between, and that was kind of a lesser researched aspect of the Podesta files, right? Because Pizzagate got its name after people discovered common pizza, but it really came out of. It was important in the 2016 election. It came out of the John Podesta files that were leaked through WikiLeaks, right?
Right. Yeah.
And these files were a very salient part. What they called it back a year ago was the Epstein list. This was a very important part of what the American people got conned into voting for Trump, and all of his henchmen, Patel and Vance, and all these guys are like, oh yeah, and Bongino. Oh yeah, we'll release these files. We're going to do it. We're going to get the list together. But the list is important. But what's more important is the connections and the kind of digital Rolodex that's in, and what it exposes about the Epstein's operation and his network is far more important than the list. I would say the list is important, but there's actual facts and details in here that were never divulged in the public. If you remember, they just tried to, like, the FBI or the DOJ just said, we've got 2 pedophiles. We had Epstein arrested back in 2019 and then Ghislaine Maxwell 2020, and then we're done. We're washing our hands. But what it turns out in these files is that there's just a much broader network. And their interest in art is part of this. Like, there's many people in his network who are also interested in art. But these are art pieces that are dispersed through his properties. If you remember, there's Zorro Ranch, Little St. James, Manhattan, and then also Palm Beach.
Right.
So you'll see similarities and things. There's some pictures that there's no pictures of some of the art. There's descriptions because people were in there. But there's also a lot of pieces that we do have copies of. But one of the people who he was kind of like back in the 90s was this woman whose name it escapes me now, but she was one of this earlier kind of victims, and she was an artist herself, and she claims, like, in one of these slides, like, her art was taken and put up on a wall, and you'll see a picture of it. Like, if you go to the next slide, you'll see a picture of it there. Yeah, she's talking about it in this email. Yeah, go to the next slide.
Oh, the next one?
Yeah.
Right here, or like skip this whole part?
The next picture.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's the redaction of the stolen art. She's mentioning that in the background. They redacted that for some reason. But she's saying that is actually her art.
Oh.
Farmer, okay. Maria Farmer is her name.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
There's so many new victims have come forward in these congressional hearings that have taken place in the last month. So the story's still unfolding, and the American public are still interested. I can attest to that, and the global public, like the kind of journalism that's being done globally is off the charts.
No, we still want to hear about it, man. Definitely. So props to you again for doing the work you do to not only keep it in the forefront, but you definitely do it in a way, William, that people are able to digest it a little easier. So yeah, man, props to you for that.
So if you go down a little bit more, you'll go and see this is Farmer stuff. She says here, Maria Farmer says that was something that she told Epstein to buy this painting, which depicts known as the rape, which is weird.
It looks like
that's according to her. That's from artnet.com. A lot of these artnet.com, they're really interested and I never would read this like casually, like I wouldn't go to the art thing, but they're really interested in Epstein and his art stuff. So there's a
Really?
lot of
Eh?
yes,
I
yeah.
mean, why wouldn't they be, right? Why wouldn't they be? That's an interesting, yeah, man. That's interesting to hear
There's
that.
like tens of articles about him and his contacts and the people, and they're really good. They're really interesting. Like, but yeah. So it's just an interesting component. Like maybe also it's insight for maybe people like who aren't of that elite class who operate in this art world, you know. And this is kind of where he seemed to find victims and stuff, like I had connections and all the stuff. So he was also always searching for victims. He and Maxwell, I think I could prove that in court. And the art world was part of it. People would work at art galleries and things like that. If you scroll down one more, you'll go, that's the entrance room into the giant mansion on 71st Street.
Yeah,
Street.
This one is interesting. I wanted to ask you, do you think that this piece with the, I don't know if it's bronze, but the statue coming down from the rope, do you think that's supposed to be in combination with the sky and the clouds? Or do you think those are just supposed to be taken as separate?
100%, I do. I think it's some kind of depiction of something coming in. If you see the sacrilege, and he had a lot of crucifixes and praying statues, and I think they'll be in this slide set, and you'll see like Mary and weird crosses in weird place for a guy who's Jewish, who seemed to like the Talmud. Talked about goyim. It's kind of a strange thing, but I think it's part of his sacrilegious kind of view. There's no evidence that I ever saw him going into a synagogue or anything, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no evidence that he actually did stuff or prayed, or he was more of a mocker, like he mocked Christianity and things like that. There was one victim who said, like, I'll be okay and Jesus loves me. And then somebody wrote to Epstein, like, well, maybe you should dress up like Jesus next time you do it. And then Epstein's like, whoops, like he didn't even show any real empathy at all. I mean, there's no element of empathy in his communications at all. It's almost like that part of his is a sociopath. Like he didn't have any empathy. He just continued to do it, you know. Stone cold pedophile. These are other pictures that he had on his library thing. Yeah, that's right, Tara. So you see this, like these are that's a like a bishop, either being tortured or something, like not in a holy pose. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say it almost looks like it's a head that's been removed.
Looks like that. Maybe a depiction of John the Baptist. I don't know. I haven't validated this one yet, but it is interesting. There's a picture of him and Bannon, where Bannon's talking to him, and these pictures are up on the wall, but it's almost, and we'll see this kind of thing, this Gates of Hell, that's done by Ghost Rodin, a French guy. But the bookshelf is very imposing. It's almost like 12 or 14 feet high. So if he wanted to project power to somebody who's sitting in that seat that Bannon was sitting in, I think it would be very successful, because it would show. It doesn't seem like Jeff or Epstein was like a very deep thinker, but I think he was very much involved in projecting power. Maybe that he didn't have, like he wasn't physically powerful. He actually mentions he's a coward. Did we do that one on the MCC where he kept saying he was a coward?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, these are both strange. These are both like bishops in repose or dying.
Yeah. This one looks like it's in decay almost or something. Yeah.
Then the next one is something called Damien Loeb, who's kind of like a odd thing, but this is a weird one to purchase. It's been resold since he died. The title is Little Miss Pink Tomato in 1995, and these are like
what does that mean? Little Miss Pink Tomato? Is that like Pink Tomato? I've never heard that before. Is that like
I don't know. I don't know. This is not something I would seek out and put in as little like 3-year-old kids and girls in bathing suits in front of some kind of stage, like they're clearly on a stage set or something, but they're not like in an acting play, right? They're more on display than anything. And there's a tornado in the background. So
oh yeah, right. Yeah, it's complete disaster in the background. I didn't even notice that right because like the children just is so disturbing. I didn't even notice the the chaos in the background. Yeah.
There's somebody has some explaining to do about this one. Damian Loeb is an interesting guy too. He was friends with Moby. He grew up with the artist Moby.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is from ArtNet, so like you can go on ArtNet and see all this stuff. But I forgot the value of this painting, but it is interesting that there it is, $40,000 to $50,000.
That's how much? Okay.
Yeah, if you scroll down one more thing, you'll see it there.
Oh, here we go.
And then there's the infamous picture of Bill Clinton. You can see the EFTA number on the bottom right there. It's one of the earlier things when they investigated or broke in to the mansion after they arrested him. This is one of the first pictures they took. And we'll see that there's a specific artist who drew this. But this is right in the entryway of the mansion.
I was just going to say, is this the entryway to a room, or because it hits you right away, right? Obviously, that's the whole point of the putting it there, because it just hits you like a punch in the face.
The corpse angel coming out of the sky is the central atrium in this huge mansion. That's like, it used to be a girls' school, and I don't even think Epstein used all the rooms. But if you walked in, you would see this thing. But if you walk down that corridor, the first door on the right, if you walked in, you would see Bill Clinton there pointing back at you. So I don't know what this doorway was to. I do have a layout of the mansion, but it's like some kind of like antechamber. Like there's a desk there. You can see that. Yeah, you've scrolled down. He's wearing the red shoes, right? That's a tie to the Podesta brothers.
Yes,
like they'd be seen in this red shoe club or weird thing. You know? Just like Bill Maher, who was like said he was going to the island. He used to walk around in like witch outfits with red shoes. Have you ever seen him wearing that?
Bill Maher?
Bill Maher, yeah.
Oh, I don't recall that. I don't think
I'll see if I can find that. Let me see. I don't know if it's on this computer. But it is some kind of weird club. Like somebody's done some work on that. The red shoe. I do have a picture of Bill Maher saying, "Oh, abstinence is a perversion." That's right. He's in the files.
Like
Bill Maher's in the files. Yeah.
In what regard?
Right here. This is somebody sent this to Jeff. If you pull up that email, there it is. Abstinence is a perversion. Bill Maher. I'll have to find my other stuff. He was talking about going to the island and stuff. These guys have all like covered everything up. They've scrubbed the internet too, like. But these emails don't lie. And why is that redacted? I don't know.
What was redacted? Who it was from?
It was from, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm seeing these pictures now that you're referring to, him dressed up like almost like a jester, or like
with the red shoe,
with the red shoes, and then there's like that one looks more like a witch, some sort of a witch guy. What's that about? Is that like here? Let me pull them up for the viewers to see. What is that about? I mean, I listen to his show once in a while, watch his podcast once in a while, but and I used to listen to his comedy when I really loved stand-up comedy, when I first got into stand-up comedy. But what is going on there? Like, he's never mentioned that. I think he's mentioned red shoes once. I think I've heard him mention red shoes.
Yeah, that's the pic. I think that the one with the red outfit he's wearing. And then there's one to the right of it where he's like literally walking with the red shoes. And he's a known guy. Like, there's stories of him at the Hefner Mansion. So
him and Wiener.
There's another one of him there. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, there's another one of him where he's like in all. There it is. That's the one. Yeah. Where he's in almost like magical attire.
Like, and he's got the Kramer pimp hat going on, and like he's dressed like a pimp. Which, well, okay, yeah. Like, is this a joke? This seems like a joke, but it almost doesn't. Like, yeah, what's going on there?
These guys like their costumes. They like to dress up. So you'll see the costume stuff in Epstein. I have to go through the files, but
there's him with
there's
Woody
a lot
Allen.
of like dress up. Oh, I didn't know he's with Woody Allen. That's a real tell right there.
He had him on the podcast, I think, last year, or it might have been this year even.
The Epstein network still exists. It's still functioning.
Oh, for sure, man. It's just like, yeah, and it goes on the Joe Rogan show all the time, man.
Oh, I mean, it's not just the people from the Epstein network. There's apologists who go on that show and deny anything happens. There are major, I don't know why they're well considered. I'm not going to name their names, but there are journalists that go on there and just say it's moral panic. I mean, it's unbelievable. Rogan, I mean, wow. I don't know how. I mean, anybody with a brain, like, whoa, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
what have you been doing? Like, that's the most number one, most influential. I think Tucker Carlson's overshadowed him, but
really?
Point,
okay.
Yeah, I think Carlson's like has more listeners now, but I could be wrong. He's had some interesting people associated with the Epstein network on his show. I mean, I can do just like
for sure.
I know too much. Like, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And these guys who are like supposedly working as journalists in the interest of the public are putting people on their shows that you wouldn't touch with 1,000-foot pole. Like, literally a mile-long pole I would not touch. Like, literally interview them like they're normal, decent people. Like, wow. Like, you don't even know basic facts. Like, you should be better informed than that. Both Rogan and Tucker Carlson.
What about because I know they've been on both of their show, the Weinstein brothers, because those guys are total frauds. What are there any Epstein connections?
Go look up Eric Weinstein. Look up Eric Weinstein and look at his opinion on the Epstein files. Yeah, I think he hasn't deleted his social media stuff.
Yeah.
And then who's he connected to? Teal's in business with Epstein and talking to Epstein. The network is vast, guys. It's really you've been influenced. People who've known this stuff has been going on for decades, and they're all in power. They're in Trump's administration. And Trump is one of them. Trump is one of them.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Yeah, it's all these circles that intertwine within a large.
They're all covering for each other, and it gets very dark. It's very Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut looks more and more like a documentary every freaking day, especially after you read through this stuff. But this is one aspect, is this kind of art stuff. So if you scroll down one more, this is the artist, I forgot, Patrina Ryan Clyde. But she also did one about Obama with a Nganga in the Oval Office.
Yeah,
that's a cauldron.
So the person that
this
did
is her
Obama
website.
one?
You can order these prints.
Okay, so the person that did the Obama one is the same person who did the other two?
If you scroll down, that's her name, Patrina Ryan Clyde.
Okay.
L-E-I-D.
Okay.
That's it. This is her website. I just took a screenshot of her website.
I just wonder why Epstein didn't have the Obama one. Or, I mean, maybe he did, but you just thought we would have seen it by now. Interesting.
I don't know.
It's interesting. They all speak pretty loud volumes about pretty interesting things for each of the three characters, right? It's
I think that there's like from African kind of like stuff, they're like their necklaces they are like magical implements. They're almost like prayer beads, like a prayer, like somebody would have their rosary or something. So they have these things. I forgot the name of them offhand. Maybe somebody in the chat would know it, but I think he's wearing one of those, or like it has some kind of like magical meaning. Obama has it, by the way. Anyway,
that's crazy. That's interesting.
It is crazy. It's absolutely insane. And there's stories about him. There's a picture of him back on a couch back in the day, and somebody's analyzed the African statuary that he had, or the African totem, and it's like been associated with black magic in Africa.
Ah,
That's
okay.
it's an old pick about 30, 40 years ago.
Tara says it looks like a Hawaiian lei, like the literal Hawaiian lei, not the ones that
It doesn't
you
look flowery to me, but I mean,
there's
somebody knows. There's somebody who knows this like old African occultism might know what this thing is called.
Oh, damn. Actually, sorry, let me just make sure. I'm looking up Hawaiian necklaces, and some, like, yeah, they actually look kind of like, not the flower ones, but yeah, they're coming up pretty similar. Interesting. So, yeah, so there you go. Tara's been there, so they use beads like that. Maybe they're nuts. Okay. Yeah, I got one here I'm looking at, and they look like nuts. It is nuts, yeah. Kukui nut, Hawaiian lei. So there you go. Could be something like that, maybe. Thanks, Tara. Cool.
Don't know.
Then he's got the I don't know, it looks like a vampire fangs. It looks some sort of top of a jawbone or something. Teeth or something.
And if you go down, this is the entryway into Jeff's mansion.
Yeah, okay, here we go. This is a well-known one.
Yeah, the opened up zebra.
Yeah.
Pictures of flies or something. Black kid, it looks like on a bench. Weird.
Yeah, that one, the black boy is disturbing. It's I mean, if that boy could talk, I mean,
yeah, because people were filtering through there all the time. Jeff was always like an influence guy and trying to get people to come to his properties for whatever reason. So dinner plans, talking, come to the island. Like there's always people like his assistants are always setting up lunch or dinner meetings. So I think that must have been like his that was how he ran his like operation, is like get him over here first.
Right. Slip him in, fit him into a lunch or a dinner or a brunch.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. Like that was the intro or the new person.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. We went over the house manual, I think last episode or 2 episodes ago. And yes, and it had a lot about, meeting new guests and dealing with new guests. So yeah, I'm sure there was a protocol with people that I'm sure there was a term, whether they labeled them or not, but I'm sure there was a category that these people were put into that, potential, I don't want to say prey because he's got his prey, but potential people that he wants to manipulate or do business with or learn from or associate with. So yeah, like you said, let's fit him in for a lunch or dinner. Let's meet him, shake something that they might like in front of them. Yeah, I mean, he always had like famous comedians. If people like to laugh, he's always got comedians around him because, Epstein liked comedy. So he always had comedians or, really smart people. So it's like, oh, I know this guy, and, just like a carrot and a stick kind of thing. And feel these people out and seeing like, okay, is this guy impressed with me? Is he manipulated? Can I manipulate him? And yeah, I'm sure he had a way of figuring out, who he could move to what level of manipulation or what level of communicating with or socializing with. That's what I was trying to say. And he probably had all these different tiers of people and how much he could trust or how much he knew he could pull from them or how much he could push and pull and what buttons to press. So, yeah.
Figured out their kinks. He'd been doing it for decades. He had it down. Like he had it down, the trafficking down, and then the blackmail stuff. I think he understood the process. Get them there. Maybe drug them. You don't know. Like blink twice. They won't remember. if you remember, like the Godfather 2, when they wanted to blackmail the senator, they got him in kind of a whorehouse or something. He says, I don't even know what happened. So he clearly was drugged. And then they killed the girl and blamed it on him, and they're like, we'll clean it up. But they owned him, like, if you remember that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly, man.
So you don't know. Like, I mean, the stories that have come out are so horrific that, in my opinion, these people were capable of anything, really. And I mean anything. I mean, like killing kids and stuff. Anyway, if you want to scroll down one more, this was his kind of massage room at the mansion. The 3 pictures are totally redacted.
Yeah.
But this one is weird. Like, it's a picture of a woman, but she's clearly behind a curtain.
Sorry,
and then
what's that?
It's a picture of a woman, but you can tell that it's a movable curtain. That little maroon curtain is on a slide. So I think you could slide it forward and back. And she's also looking into a mirror, which is kind of like an occult type thing,
Yeah.
Stare in the mirror, gazing and stuff.
Yeah, through the looking glass kind of thing. Yeah. Interesting how it's held up too on these. It's almost like they can, like maybe there's something on the other side. They could easily flip it around.
It's such an interesting choice too. Like, I mean, I think that it just shows his personality. Like, this is what he wanted. This is where a lot of the crimes happened, is in this room, Supposedly a sauna and adjoining and a shower. What's that little white thing in the back? Like, what the heck is that? Is that like an electronic device? What the freaking?
Yeah.
Is that a recording device? What is it?
So I would, just because it's all white, I would lean towards like medical or health related device. But, geez, what is that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anyone in the chat.
He clearly had a sonogram. Like, I've checked it out. He had one at Little St. James, in one of his rooms. There's no question about it. I mean, there are these high-level devices. They seem to really want to put the girls together so they would get their haircuts and make sure, they had their toenails done and all that stuff. And they had these things that are used in cosmetics to, like, take away skin tags and, like, other things. But it's weird.
It looks like it almost looks like it's missing. Like, I just don't know what it is, but it just looks like it's missing something. Like there's another piece that I don't know. That's why I just think maybe I'm not recognizing it, but maybe I just don't recognize it because I have absolutely no idea what it is. So
yeah, I don't either. The next 2 are basically looking.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's the sacrilege stuff. Yeah,
this is a weird little station. Because the sink almost looks like, it just reminds me of when I was a kid and I went to a church once in a while, with, like, my school would literally force us to go to church, and the holy water bowl, it just reminds me of that. And then with the cross, and now I'm noticing all the locks on the cabinets, and that's really creepy as hell.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, there's nothing in his thing that would show he was a Christian. So what's up with all this iconography? Like, he's aware of stuff.
It's a pretty prominent little piece too. It's not, I don't know how expensive it might or might not be, but knowing him, I would think that it's worth at least a few $1,000s, maybe.
It's very strange. And the next one is like praying, either Christ praying or somebody praying.
Oh, jeez. I haven't seen this one. I must have skipped through it. I don't recall this one. This one is really... What's with the... I don't know, were the pinkies broken off? And, like... Or are they... Like, what's going on there? Do you see what I'm referring to there?
I do.
Yeah, well, that's weird. wonder what that's about. The hair is really crazy. Like it almost like the hair is making me think like, is that Jesus? Because like this is like he's not usually depicted with such crazy hair. Great. Oh, and he's got this like um, leather lampshade, like Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, maybe it's baby like skin.
Who knows? Or
It wouldn't. I wouldn't even blush. Just go yeah.
and then what's that?
In his bathroom, if you go to it's just plastic covering. I guess they must have covered stuff when they.
Oh, it's just like the phone and like okay.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, here we go. This one.
Yeah, this is his bathroom. He was into ballerinas. Like one of his pools of victims was from dancing schools, and you'll see some of the pictures in the picture sets that he has of ballerinas. So this was something that he had in his bathroom, which is kind of it's weird for a bachelor, in my opinion, like to have this kind of weird iconography, like.
Yeah, that's pretty feminine.
Yeah, it's just he's a strange guy, man.
Redacted in the background. He rocks Head and Shoulders, it looks like. Okay.
Those are all the stuff we went through, the stuff they had in, he had to have specific
that's right.
brands and all that
stuff.
That's
right. I forgot about that. And just so like for a rich guy, he's just using some of these brands he's using. It's just like it's so weird. My after our episode, my freaking uncle, I was seeing my uncle, and for whatever reason, he bought a thing of, I can't believe it's not butter. And I'm like, oh my God, like, Epstein uses that, right? It was just hilarious.
Sprays it on his brand muffin. He needs it warmed at 7 a.m.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
It's specific, like recipe. This is on the doorway, the hallway into his mansion. But I think it's interesting because that's his girlfriend at the time, Karina Shuliak. But it just shows his egotism, She's like up against his shoulder and he's kind of posing. And stuff.
Was this the one that he bribed into dental school?
I think that was something.
I think so, right?
Been it, yeah.
Okay.
Shuliak was her name. Shuliak. So
yeah, that's an odd it's just an odd photo too, because it really, like, I know he has like the smaller framed photos around his desk and on the side tables, but like just to have a personal thing like that blown up, it just really clashes with all the other art. So it's a bold, it's a bold move. I don't know. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's something else. This is just I've switched out of the I have to remix these things, but this goes to the Zorro Ranch with kind of more, I guess, Spanish style art stylings.
That one up there just reminds me of Eyes Wide Shut in the pool table scene with all the family photos around it. That's interesting.
Somebody in the chat said there were 6 calls to arms or whatever, like a 6 coat of arms at the wall. I wonder where in Zorro Ranch that is. I've seen some of them. That's a picture of a nude in the bathroom. That's redacted. There's one that wasn't redacted. That is Jeff's obsession with female anatomy. And that's what's pictured there. I'm surprised that isn't redacted. Like, some of these other things get redacted, but a woman's boobs.
I guess, yeah. I guess because the nipples are technically covered. I guess. But I mean, yeah.
There's another one. I don't know who this painting is, but like you see that they're taking the time to put proper frames on these things.
Oh, for sure. I love these like just cheap tacky phones they have all over the place.
I know, and they're dated. So like imagine these are you can tell this is the SDNY. That's the first feature. So this is from when they went in 2019. So they still had these tacky phones lying around in the era of cell phones. It's interesting. So that's also a picture of Little St. James, and that's
Okay.
pictured in Manhattan. So that's at the Mansion from Hell on 71st Street, right off of Central Park. And then this is
wow, here we go. Yeah.
this is supposedly some depiction of some kind of Greek god, is what I've been told. I have to look more into this one. It just shows the decor and the wall and this odd picture. Maybe it could be a rabbi. I don't know.
This is a very Asian room for sure. And then there's like this trailer trash cheetah chairs that just like kills the vibe. Jeez.
Yeah. It's,
he's got, what are these like? He's got these like instruments down there. It looks, I don't know what that is. Oh no, those are all. He's got like 2, 4, 6. He's got like 6 or 7 pairs of glasses underneath the gong there. I thought they were like instruments, but yeah, that's crazy. He's wild with his glasses. He's got so many pairs of glasses.
He's got pairs of glasses everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another massage room in, I think, the Mansion. Another picture of like a woman, but not.
Yeah. Why isn't that redacted? That should be redacted for the FBI. Weird. That's weird. There's a shitty phone with some lube and a clock. Lots of lube. Not as much as Diddy, but still. Oh yeah, look at all these different creams and ointments, and
then there's that weird white thing to the right, like it's obstructing the view. If you go all the way to the right, that thing right there, that little right hand corner, like there it is again. What is
another medical thing? Yeah, that's weird. That's odd. Oh, and this photo, I'm just looking like to the side of the photo. It's like art supplies and stuff. So it looks like it's like a young woman artist who's being like ravaged or something.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
This is another one. This is, I think,
what is this? I've never seen this one either. Potato head or something. Potato chip head. Holy cow.
But imagine like you're coming into this place. It must be like disorienting, like you're in a house of horrors or something. Like it's not pretty pictures of like pastoral scenes or pictures of Ansel Adams or just something like American, backgrounds of American themes. These are all like distorted women in pain or looking in mirrors. Like it's weird. Yeah, so that's another one. This one I've described later on in the set, but it's literally called Coming of Age. And he bought that and filled the whole wall. So that's at the Mansion too. You can see the SDNY number on there. On the bottom. So that means they were filmed. This was filmed during the initial investigation before he was dead. I've done a show on the MCC too, guys. You can check it out. He was killed in jail August 10th, I'm pretty sure. They just had today, actually, they had his jail guard, Tova Noel, go into Congress to be deposed.
Good. That's good.
I wonder what she'll say.
Yeah, I want to hear from her. Well, there's a tip of it. See, that makes sense.
There's girls like inner tubing naked. That's at the thing. Yeah, there's pictures of Bill Gates with somebody redacted. So he took time to, put Bill Gates into a framed photo.
Into a frame. Yeah. And like these two other people are, I wonder. That looks like Ghislaine there, maybe the little one. And there's FDNY. Look at he's so fashionable. They got the photo of them walking away. Like, they're too cool for school, man.
Yeah, that looks like Ghislaine out somewhere. Like she's at the at the desert or whatever.
Oh, there we go. That's Ghislaine too. Yeah. Jeez,
these redactions are a mystery. I don't even have any idea.
I know sometimes they are, and sometimes like you just have to say to yourself, like, did they just redact this for no reason, or was this a mistake?
They took a picture of their scribblings on his chalkboard, and some people have read some stuff into this. I don't know how valid it is. It clearly says power deception.
Yeah,
like some people music, plants,
Political, intellectual, physical, financial, powers, deception, truth. I don't know what that says.
Appearance, appear,
music.
Time, those
boxes.
boxes.
Yeah. Beauty, like Matrix. Like it's almost like, and this is just like, yeah.
It does look like his handwriting.
I think it's something like, it probably means something, but I don't know if I don't know if much of it is something that could actually be deciphered. It could have just been he was giving a speech to some people or talking to some people, and he was just writing down a couple things, like to just so they kept the certain points that he's trying to make in their head. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, this financial, physical, intellectual, political power, like that's okay. You can kind of decipher that, but you don't know what he's referring to. And like these little diagrams, like I don't think, like, unless you know what he's talking about, you don't know what it's actually referring to. So, but yeah, it's juicy stuff, especially when it first dropped. It was definitely interesting. It's got all these interesting little art pieces too, or statues or whatever you want to call them. What's that? That's a weird. Okay, that was Medusa at first.
That's a head. I think that on the far left, that's a head of Beethoven.
Oh, Beethoven. Okay, I was like, I thought it was Medusa or Edgar Allan Poe at first, but I was like, no, that's not either.
Pictures of girls and undress, states of undress,
getting
framed. Who knows who those are? And then the next one is somebody attached to Brunel. I've been reading more about Brunel. He was like an Epstein in France. Basically, he was drugging girls and raping them for decades, and died in jail in 2020. Just like committed suicide. Just like
yeah, like so many Epstein similarities, right? It's just ridiculous.
And this is another guy connected to Brunel. The first wife of Brunel was this woman, Helen Hogberg, whose favorite model was pictured by this guy, David Hamilton. This is Patricia Chabriant from France. And so it's just a whole show of like the the reason I screenshotted this is to show the kind of international connections to the art world. And this guy was kind of like a artsy photographer, I guess you could say it. But
crazy, man.
Young girls.
Yeah, like there's the people that we know are involved, in the sense that like the dots are pretty much connected. Like the government just needs to do their fucking work and put in the time and do it, and grow some balls and do it. And then there's the people that like, okay, like I don't know, maybe. And then there's these, the people that like we're just kind of hearing of, or we might never hear of, that were involved, maybe even in one-off situations that, even though it was just one situation, like it could have led to the death or the ruining of the life of one of these girls or something like that. And it's terrible to know that. Like there's probably so many people that have committed at least one atrocious act in this whole Epstein bullshit. And it's just wild to think of.
It's so vast, man. Like that they covered it up. They really, I mean, what they told the public was, I think, very well thought out, tested in like test groups or whatever. They have control groups or whatever.
Right.
Like, what are you guys going to believe? Oh, Epstein was just a pedophile and that's it. Okay, everybody raise their hand who thinks that that's a good idea, not to mention everything, like these things. And then they just, rolled them out to the public, and everybody was just like, okay, just like Bondi keeps saying, it's on my desk. All the files are on. There's no way they're on her desk.
Right.
They're too vast. There's terabytes of information. Like, like there's. Do you know how many people were involved in the redacting? 500.
Right.
These are external third party stuff. This isn't me. This is a vast enterprise to cover up all this stuff. Somebody should just go through and list the redactions on these files, because you'll be like, how did they have time to do all these redactions within like a supposed year of obtaining the Epstein files, assuming that they were unredacted. And this is an assumption. We don't know. They're not telling us the facts, but assuming the redaction started when Trump came into office, which is what, January 20th, 2025.
2025, yeah. Crazy.
I think it absolutely crazy.
I think it was.
It's actually a massive cover up too.
I think it was Ryan Dawson that told me that, based on a oh, I'm sorry, I forget. He was going to say something about when they started redacting and how they're still collecting Epstein files and stuff, but I can't exactly remember. But I think you're right that it's just ridiculous. Like, when did they really start redacting? What was the whole thing there? And yeah, Ryan Dawson's in the files too. So
right. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Some of the Johnny Vedmore's in the files. A lot of those people who've been researched Epstein are in the files. So was Nick Bryant, all these people.
Right.
They were keeping an eye on him. And Epstein had like huge files of his own, of articles about Julie K. Brown. He had a lot of Epstein had a lot of all of his what was written about him. He knew it. He was watching it. He was aware of the Gawker stuff when they released the Black Book. So the files divulged that he wasn't not interested. He was watching it with an eagle eye,
Yeah, I mean, he was probably, he probably had people watching it for him and compiling him reports. I think some of the emails kind of show that they're keeping him updated on certain things. Obviously, I think it seems clear that they had bigger talks and debriefings offline, but it sounds like there's little pieces of information that are getting put into these emails, whether Epstein is okay with it or not. But yeah, they're passing some information on and keeping them updated. So yeah, I think he probably had, it's a network, right? It's a whole operation. So I'm sure he had people just keeping him up to date, and
he had all these people he could pay, so he had his own entourage and lawyers and doctors and all this stuff. This is a list of all of his paintings. We've gone over a few of them. Katrina Ryan Cried, Jorge Alvarez Coming of Age, Damien Loeb. There was other ones, Showering. Some of these have been sold. The next one is interesting. This kind of ties into the film analysis we did about Blink Twice. Does that guy's face look familiar to you?
I think so, but I don't know if I'm right. What
his name is Auguste Rodin, Rodin, French guy. Well, probably one of the most accomplished modern sculptors of all time, of our time, of the 20th century, and did The Thinker. So if you scroll down, you probably see his most famous sculpture.
Okay, gotcha. Damn, it's funny. He looks like, if you go online and you look at some of these cringy alpha male red pill guys, gym meatheads, he kind of looks like what some of those guys
he kind of does, doesn't he?
That's
the
funny.
Beard and the
King Azuli or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is interesting for a lot of reasons. So what Epstein wanted to do was obtain one of his pieces, which we'll see in Blink Twice, and that's called The Gates of Hell. So if you scroll down, you can read that. If you feel like reading it, go for it.
I spoke to a gentleman today from the Musée Rodin regarding The Gates of Hell. The museum really wants its pieces to be exhibited publicly, so if purchased, placed in a museum for all to see. If a piece is purchased for private use, it becomes complicated. The man wanted to know if you had anything to do with the person in Geneva who has also recently asked for a price and has interest in the Gates of Hell. I requested this gentleman please give me a price, and he said he can only give me an idea of a price, as it is up to the Board of Trustees. They give the final price. You must send a written letter to the director of the board for this. It's a process. But finally, He gave me an idea of a price as 22 to 25 million euros. The man said he had received my emails as well and would respond back with synopsis of this information. I have yet to receive it. I sent another email to him. M. Avare to Jeffrey Epstein from it's redacted.
Right. Why is this redacted?
But it says M. Avare, and you could kind of
Right.
see. I mean, I don't know. At Yahoo, I think that's at Yahoo dot something. I don't know, but you
musée.rodin.fr. That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
FR for France or Rodin for the
right.
artist.
Thank you. Okay, so there
Museum
you go. Like you
museum.
can find it. Yeah. Okay.
You can probably follow up with that guy. This is 2015, so it's not that long ago. But he's saying he'll sell this piece for 22 to 25 million. We'll see here that it's a remarkable piece. If you kind of scroll into this one, you'll see further things being discussed. Hughes Herpin sent something to Jeff. Like, why is this redacted? Like, it shouldn't be. It's forwarded to Jeff. But this is not like something about sex trafficking. It's about art. Like, why is there
like
such a joke? This is a true government job, man. It's a total joke. But it says here, yesterday, as discussed yesterday, this is Hughes Herpin, maybe. As discussed yesterday, I confirmed several points concerning the gates of hell. Original casts are legally limited to 12 casts. 8 of casts have already been made. It means that the Musée Rodin still have the possibility to make 4 casts. You have to send a letter to Madame Chevillot, director of Musée Rodin, precising what will be the place and the conditions of the exhibition for the piece. As I've told you, the item is generally reserved for public exhibition. It takes 3 years to cast it after signing a contract with a firm order from the purchaser. Usually the payment has to be done in 3 parts according to the schedule of casting. It means 1/3 with the order, 1/3 second year, 1/3 when it's finished. Do not hesitate to contact me. So all the details are being exchanged about these gates. Like, it's not. And then if you scroll down, there's another one. Somebody sends it to Jeff. I've spoken with the Rodin Museum. They've asked me to please send an email to Madame Avar. A price for the gates of hell. I've emailed her, and we'll call the museum again tomorrow. And then they have her there now. So they redacted her earlier email, but then you can see it pretty clear as day here. This shows you what a joke job this is. But he's in there. You can see Jeff wrote something out about the New York Times, recasting Rodin's life and work. Right. Call the museum and find out how much for the gates of hell. That's his direct order from Jeff. And this is if you scroll down one more, that's what the gates of hell looked like. And this picture was in the files. You can see the EFTA number. You can see it on the bottom right. So it's in the Epstein files, EFTA 00255405. This is the one in Palo Alto. So it's at Stanford University. And
so, sorry to interrupt. So this is actually interesting. So they have them, and this is from France, right?
Well, Rodin was in France, but I'm sure the casting is done through the Muséum de Rodin, which contained all of his, castings and materials. I'm assuming from all.
So they have the mold or the cast, and that's interesting. They're legally only allowed to make 12. Have you heard of anything like that before? That's really
there's some rules or something. The artist will set the rules. So I made this art, but I only want 50 prints done. I want to limit the prints.
And then if he dies, then
there's they print them out, and then they put the number of the prints out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the back for whatever reason.
So interesting.
I don't want it for mass distribution.
It's just interesting to see that. Because I've seen, and I have items that are like limited edition, so I totally get that. But just to see it to be like a big thing like this, and just the fact that it's limited edition, and some still aren't even made yet, and some might not even ever be made. That's really interesting. I've never, that's cool. That's cool.
I think Rodin understood the importance of his work, like how famous he really was.
Yeah, man.
And if you see the gates of hell, what he did is he integrated smaller casts from his other works into this art piece. So at the very centerpiece overlooking the gates of hell is the thinker, right? It's the same style. And then above that are the 3 shades. See the 3 shades over that? Remember that. Etch that into your memory.
Gotcha.
And some of the smaller, like, bodies and stuff are pieces from other of his pieces. But I included all of the pictures because it's like a picture set. Like
Yeah. Interesting.
Either Rodin or Ghislaine or somebody walked around that it's an open air statuary kind of garden and took a bunch of pictures. And then on the very bottom is one called Fallen Caryatid Carrying Her Stone, which you'll see a piece of that is in, I think it's in the upper right hand side of the gates of hell. It's actually in there, this kind of same theme. I don't know where it is. You have to kind of scroll down to the end there.
Keep going.
Scroll up more.
Oh, sorry.
So that right there. So that's the Fallen Caryatid. Under the weight of her stone, bronze sculpture, bowed under the crushing weight of a massive stone slab, symbolizing burden, suffering, and human struggle against overwhelming forces. So that's indicated in the gates of hell. So that's in Palo Alto. It's interesting. Those are the only 2 pictures. There's like 30 or 40 pieces of Rodin in this sculpture, but these are the only 2 pictures that were photographed for Epstein or whatever. Whether he took the pictures or somebody else did, those are the only ones that are in his picture sets. And then if you scroll down, there's actually an Aleister Crowley connection because he wrote a book about Rodin and did some art for it. It's called 7 Lithographs from the Watercolors of Augusto Rodin with a chaplet of verse by Aleister Crowley. You can actually buy the book from Visor Antiquarian Books.
That's okay. That's interesting. That's
You can read what Crowley wrote about Rodin too if you go to slide 54, I think. I don't know if you want to read that poem.
Right here?
Yeah. Do you want to read
Here's
that?
a man for the world to see. His work stands shaming nature. Clutched, combined, in the soul still center of a master mind. The Egyptian force, the Greek simplicity, the Celtic subtlety, through suffering free, the calm great courage of new art refined. In nervous majesty, indwells behind the beauty of each radiant harmony. Titan, the little centuries drop back from the contemplation, stand and span, with one great grip of his cup, the zodiac. Distill from all time's art his wine, the truth. Drink, drink, the mighty health and age's youth. Salute Augusta Rodin. Here is a man.
Yeah, so that's Crowley about him. Then if you go down to...
Crowley wrote that one? Crowley wrote that?
Yeah, that was his verse. Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to 55, this is another thing that Jeff wanted was one more.
Oh, sorry. 56? Oh, okay.
It's my 56, actually.
Yeah.
That's a picture called The Massacre of the Innocents.
Yes,
And
okay.
that was the one that depicts the killing of all the 2-year-old or under children of Bethlehem to kill the Messiah. So he wanted that, a 9x9, to be put right in the entryway into Hell Ranch, into the Zorro Ranch. And that's actually this is a picture from the Epstein information. You can see the EFTA number there on 57. And it's really vicious. Like, this is a pretty vicious story about the slaughter of the innocents, you know? Massacre of the innocents, slaughter of the innocents, whatever.
The child born son of the king one day overthrow him. To protect his throne, he ordered that all boys under the age of 2 be killed. Wow.
Do you want to read from Matthew 2? Do you want to read from Matthew 2? Did you hear that?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for it.
It's right there. It's 58. Yeah. It's 58. That's Matthew 2. The Magi visit the Messiah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, 2. There it is. I'm sorry, Will.
Okay.
After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where's the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this and was disturbed, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. "In Bethlehem in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me so that I too may go and worship him." After they heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. They escaped to Egypt. When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said, "take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child and kill him." So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity, who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more."
So that's the picture that he wanted. That's what he wanted.
Jeez.
If you scroll down like to 61, you'll see Sarah Kellen was one of the kind of close, like, I guess she was his assistant. She's like, "Hey, Rich, Jeffrey is asking if he can FedEx the painting he had made of the Massacre of the Innocents to the ranch. It's the large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway, where they are killing babies. Like, they knew they were killing babies.
Yeah.
He wants to use it on the ranch and is hoping he could FedEx to arrive by Wednesday. Thanks, Sarah. July 10th, 2011.
Damn.
Get this. One of the interesting things is that he did the purchase of the Massacre of the Innocents on the day that is celebrated in the Catholic Church for the remembrance of the Massacre of the Innocents.
Oh my, come on.
No.
So, like, is he like...
He literally had the date right. Like, okay, let's buy this Let's put
Is
the
he
finger on this.
mocking, or is he playing with energy there, or both, or like what is that about, man?
It's a very occult thing to do. Like get
It
the date right,
is.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's ooh. Okay. That's crazy, man. That's freaky as hell.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out the date like it was in this thing. Yeah. And then scroll down all the way to this guy's face. Go to 65. That's a guy by the name of Andrea Serrano.
He almost looks familiar.
Well, do those album covers look familiar? Metallica?
Oh, for sure, man. I used to be a big I
Okay, so
like Metallica, and I know about these covers. Yeah.
That's the artist who designed those covers.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting. So this guy must
Load
be
and reload. It's this guy.
yeah.
And then if you scroll down, we are at the hour 10-minute mark. If you scroll down, that's called Piss Christ. And this like went crazy. It had a lot of like interest in the media and the cultural right, I guess, with Moral Majority really went berserk over this because it's a crucifix in urine. And it's weird too because Jeff had this crucifix in the mansion. We saw that earlier, right?
Right, yeah. So I understand that the like for reload, I forget what it is exactly, but isn't it? It's like goat's urine and blood. I can't
it's
remember
urine
the
and
process.
blood. Yeah.
But so what is like? Do you know how this picture was treated with the urine or whatever? Like I don't understand. Like, or is it not really urine? Is it just called that?
Well, that's what he said. That's what Serrano said. So I'm
Okay.
assuming that's what it is, that he took a picture of it that way. But it would be in line with his other work. If you see his other work, he's totally like a deviant or transgressive artist, I think is accurate.
I think some of these people, honestly, I think some of these people just use art as an excuse to just be complete fucking deviants.
Yeah.
And some of them, maybe this guy's like that, maybe not, but some of them get lucky enough to have people like Podesta or Jeffrey Epstein or James Alefantis or some other rich freaks buy your work, or maybe a big band like Metallica hears about you and they get you to do some album covers and you get some work. But I mean, I think some of these people are just straight up deviants and they're using art as an excuse. And then once they kind of get into the art world, then they blend in and they learn the lingo and how people think and what to expect from them, and they just play that part. That's what I think. And again, I don't know if this guy's like that, but some of this art, you see it and it's like, okay, like what the fuck is the matter with you, man?
It's like Abramovich, her art is the intro into her ideas. It's like publication. So this is another one. This is the Pieta, which we'll see in the Blink Twice slides once we get those. We'll finish out with the Blink Twice slides.
Cool.
But this is the same kind of theme, but this was a showing he did in 2012. The same kind of like, sacrilegious thing of urine and these religious iconography. One of the interesting things that ties Serrano to Epstein is they traded this Madonna statue. But if you scroll down one more, I think it's 71. So they got this sculpture in 2018 in exchange for Epstein's portrait. So Serrano was one of the last people to take a portrait or picture of Jeffrey Epstein, which I think we'll see. I think I have it on this. Yeah. So this is the guy, Serrano.
This is him? Okay.
This is from 2022.
This guy looks like a fucking freak too, man.
He this is from, I think, Vanity Fair.
It's like a David Lynch wannabe or something.
This is the I mean, if you read the whole title, The Artist, the Madonna, and the Last Known Portrait of Jeffrey Epstein. In his work, Andres Serrano has long made art out of provocation. He's now sharing the details of how shortly before Epstein's arrest and death, In 2019, he acquired a 16th century Madonna statue from the financier. So it's really about it. And then there's that last picture. Is that right there?
Yeah, I've never seen this until you sent it to me. And I was wondering.
The title of it's Infamous.
Infamous, of course it is.
So I think Epstein knew his notoriety, like he reflects it in his like emails, like the one like he got some email from some girl, like she's doing a show on some guy who's a notorious fixer and pedophile in New York City, and blah blah. And then Epstein writes back, "That guy's me." Like he admits
me.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and if you watch some of the, I think if you watch even just a bit of the Bannon interviews, either one of the different Bannon interviews, you can start catching on that. Okay, he's leaning into this. Maybe. Oh, sorry. He's not necessarily leaning into it, but he's accepting it, and they're trying to plan out a future where it's okay to be Jeffrey Epstein, and yeah, he knew he was an evil guy and a sick guy and not a good guy.
Very aware, and he was always trying to hide. Like he was always trying to move, and his nickname was his own personal nickname was Sneaky. Like that's what he thought of himself.
Sneaky Jeff,
sneaking around. Interesting tie between Serrano and Donald J. Trump, our current president, believe it or not. He is the next one. This is an article from one of these art mags. I think it was, which one was it? I forgot. You have to look. ArtNet again, which I rarely read, but this is, I Have a Strong Stomach. Artist Andre Serrano explains why he spent $200,000 on Trump steaks and other Trump memorabilia on eBay. And that picture of Trump in the background behind Ego is by none other than Andre Serrano. So there's a connection between Epstein and Trump through this guy, Deviant Artist. And I don't think Trump ever, this was like I don't think Trump ever complained about this. Like this was like
hurrah's Trump.
Serrano never got sued is what my point.
Yeah, and it's interesting because of how much the Trumps in general, especially Don, like suing people. So
yeah, I think he's involved in like 50 suits right now, like just constant litigation.
Oh yeah, just fucking, that's his game, man. Yeah, that's his game. It's ridiculous.
If you scroll down to 76, you'll see that Serrano bought a piece of their wedding cake and some kind of wedding thing. It says MJD, right? Melania. Oh, MTD.
MTD.
So it's Melania and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Thing. The game, all thing Trump. It was the title of the display. And then in 77, that's a picture that's
such a weird photo. That's like
yeah, these ArtNet type things, they have a lot of insights. Like a lot of people don't see. This is another. Yeah. This is another one, lesser known, tied to Epstein. A guy by the name of David A. Ross, who was friends with him, who sent emails. But he was the former director of the MoMA of Modern Art in San Francisco. And he said, files reveal, I'm still proud to call you a friend, Jeff. And then he got canned. This is one of the people who got canned after all this stuff came out.
That's fucking ridiculous. Oh,
but I think he sent the email after his conviction. Oh, there it is at the bottom. It's at 81. It's from 2015. Subject sad.
Sad.
Jeffrey, it is depressing to see how you are once again being dragged through the mud. I'm still proud to call you a friend. I know you are strong, but still. Hope we can catch up sometime soon. Cheers, David.
Like, it's unbelievable. Sometimes the things they say, like this one's pretty blatant. It's depressing to see how you are once again being dragged through the mud. It's just like, oh, Jeff, why are they doing this to you, buddy? Like, I don't get it, man. Like, this world is so corrupt. Like, it's just so ironic.
Trafficked thousands and thousands of children and ruined their lives, and had child porn filmed at your mansions and blackmailed thousands of politicians, and
poor Jeff,
supported the most depraved stuff imaginable. It's poor you, Jeff, you victim.
Subject sad.
Can you read number 82? This is interesting. It's from this guy, David Ross, to Epstein.
Okay.
2009.
To David Ross from Epstein. Roman Polanski's attorney or attorneys are coming to see me. I might want to fund an exhibition entitled Statutory. Girls and boys ages 14 to 25, where they look nothing like their true ages. Juvenile mugshots, Photoshop, makeup. Some people go to prison because they can't tell true age. Controversial, fun. Maybe it should be a web page with hits tallied.
So Jeff wants to fund something that's provocative called Statutory,
What?
or that's confusing to tell what the ages of the kids are. Like, he literally sending it to this guy who's the head of the Museum of Modern Art in 2009. I don't know when he was the head of the Museum of Modern Art.
This guy,
head.
allegedly, is obviously just a fucking freak too. Why would he be talking to him about this?
Okay, especially, now read the next one, because it gets worse.
Roman Polanski's lawyers, of all people, so they know exactly how to handle pedophile freaks who are elites. That's amazing. So here we go.
This is a thread, people. Yeah, go
ahead. To Jeffrey Epstein from David Ross. Let's talk today. I'll call you. When would be good for you? You are incredible. This would be a very powerful and freaky book. Do you know that total porno commercial kitty picture of blank that Richard Prince appropriated for an expedition in the early 1980s? Yes, they closed it off in the London show.
That's straight from Epstein. And 4 minutes later, he knew exactly what it was.
Yeah, you're right.
Epstein shoots it back. Yes, they closed it off in the London show.
And this is 9 a.m. And yeah, you're right. You sent that at 9 a.m. and then 9:04 a.m. Epstein right away. Yes, they closed it off in the London show. And then later in the day, later that day. And yes, this should be a web-based holy shit. Yes, this should be a web-based exhibition, totally global and totally open as a 2.0 platform for the ranting of everyone. Holy crap, man.
So they want to have a statutory exhibit with this total porno commercial kitty picture of blank, who they don't know, but we know who Richard Prince is. And they want it to be totally global and open the platform. So they're basically enticing people, in my opinion. The conclusion is they're enticing people into a age-confusing display called Statutory, right?
Oh, yes.
Like, that's what they're talking about. That's what Jeff and David Ross are talking about. Now scroll down one more. Oh, this is probably way before your time, but I remember this whole hubbub. And it was about a picture of a prepubescent, sexualized makeup, right? Kind of like John Benet Ramsey or something, of Brooke Shields. And you can say the original photograph of Brooke Shields by Gary Gross, which Richard Prince used in his artwork displayed at the Tate. It just mentioned it. The Tate is a gallery in London. So they know. Epstein knew this whole thing.
Yeah, he knows what Jesus. There it is.
Yes, and you can just go, and they close it off in the London show. Come on. So I only have about 5 more minutes. Maybe this is called Coming of Age.
Okay,
this is on his wall. There's the shrimp thing up on his wall at Little St. James. I mean, there's just so much. Oh yeah, he's associated with so much degenerate art. It's really off the charts.
Oh yeah, that's the shrimp. That one's ridiculous.
Go to the blink twice slides, will you?
Cool.
This ties in, like, we did the blink twice episode, right? And I showed you the different things. Go to the first one if you can. Oh, this was something that popped up recently, was just degenerate art of Dana White that depicts a Yakuza in very intimate contact with a Japanese female prostitute. That's up on his wall. It's in the background that was shown recently. And next to it is another picture of like a young girl with blue butterflies that I did a show called The Blue Butterfly about one of the Epstein victims. His name I can't remember. Sarah McCarthy wrote the book about her.
Yeah.
There's just so many victims, God. Anyway, this is just like another piece of deviant art, in my opinion. Like, this is it. Like, this guy, the other thing that's interesting is he didn't mind it. It was in the background. Like, he was showing it off.
Man.
He didn't go like, hey, maybe we should rope this off and not let the public see all this stuff. Like, nope, this is it. This is me.
That's unbelievable. Like,
it is like unbelievable.
Like this must have been like a UFC event, right? Like a belt unveiling or something.
The reason was there was some kind of special belt that they were putting out that was really ornate, and they were trying to show it to Dana White.
Okay.
So then this is a scene. This is from the entrance, the beginning scene sequence in Blink Twice. Do those three shades look familiar to you?
Yeah.
Those were on the very top of the gates of hell. This is the intro scene to Blink Twice.
Crazy.
That's it. So then it starts off with these shades in the background, and she's talking to that guy Slater King or whatever, and then the whole thing. I watched it again, not the whole movie, but the name of the movie comes from this sequence with Rodan in the background, because McLaughlin responds to her. She says to him, "Blink twice if I'm in danger," and he takes his glasses and he blinks twice. And that's where the whole name of the whole film comes from, is this: blink twice. Blink twice if I'm in danger. So that's the sense of danger in the background. And that's the danger that all the victims went through. They literally went through danger stuff. And then at the very end of the film, this guy who named the movie Blink Twice, his character's name is like Mr. Dr. Klein or something like that. He walks out to see the girl who is now she's flipped the script or whatever. And he walks out in front of a depiction of, it's not a depiction, it's one of the 8 casts of the Gates of Hell.
It must be, right? Yeah.
100%. And so one of the people in the I think it was Tara or somebody, or Diana, said that you had the museum this is from. Somebody email me the info of where this museum was, where this was shot, and at what museum. Maybe it was shot in Mexico, or the Pegasus Museum. I couldn't find it online, but it is fascinating that this film that kind of depicts the Little St. James kind of events with amnesia and abuse of women has a tie to reality in Epstein's interest in the Gates of Hell. And there's the thinker right back there in the bottom, back right.
Yes.
This is the final scene. This is the finalized scene. You can see them all clapping for her. Forgot her name and character. I think it was, can't remember, but like, this is where it all ends.
We're gonna have to, we'll get together still and we'll do a deeper dive on this movie and Under a Silver Lake. We'll still do that.
I know Under a Silver Lake pretty well, but this is also the interesting. You just saw the Pieta in Under Urine, and this religious iconography that Epstein had, who wasn't a Christian in any way, shape, or form. He was Jewish, and that kind of religious iconography or whatever in this film too. This film, Blink Twice, pretty wild. Wild stuff.
Crazy, man.
That's it.
Well, man, this was damn, William. I really enjoyed this, man. I know I probably say that almost every time, but this was awesome, man. I can't believe the time has just flown by. So thank you so much. This is the
tip of the iceberg. It's worse. There's stuff all over like Little St. James. Like, it's almost like a parade of like black deviant art all throughout all of his properties. Like, he did not go soft. A lot of egotism and pictures of nude, naked kids and stuff like that. Like, it's really something else. But yeah, whoever's in the chat who knows what museum that scene was, I could probably find it out. I could probably AI it. Wherever that art gallery was with all the Rodin, that'd be important for me to know. So if somebody can email that to me, it's WilliamRamseyInvestigates@gmail.com. It's the best place to contact me. And also my my podcast is William Ramsey Investigates. My website's William Ramsey Investigates. I have 5 books, 5 documentaries on Patreon. That's basically it.
Yeah, I got all the books up there, so definitely check them out. And yeah, man, I'll be in touch. We'll get together again, and yeah, this was awesome, man. Again,
Good. I'm glad you liked it.
So thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Glad to be with you. All right, peace.
Thanks, William. All the best,
Cheers.
buddy.
You too. Likewise.
All right, guys, there you go. The one and only William Ramsey. That was awesome. Thanks to everyone in the chat. It was nice to see everyone being so active and everything. If you guys haven't done so already, I'm sure most of you guys have, but please subscribe to the Divulgence Podcast. I could be wrong, but I think we've either hit a roadblock or we're literally just getting screwed by YouTube right now. But I was getting a nice boost in numbers, and then nice boost for me relatively, and then it just stopped, and then it kind of started going down 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So I don't know what's going on with that. So maybe just double check, make sure you're subbed, share it with someone else. I apologize. I did have to take some time off over the last couple of weeks. A good friend of mine passed. I didn't want to share that right away, but yeah, I was dealing with some shit. So thanks for your patience. I was hoping to get the numbers up, maybe up to 1,000 on YouTube before the end of May, but it looks like that's not going to happen. But that's okay. I really appreciate all the support that you guys are giving me. So if anything, maybe just drop a nice comment or a thumbs up, and just double check to make sure you're subscribed. And if you are, yeah, maybe share it with someone else. I try to cover a bunch of different topics. Sometimes we cover the same stuff in a given week a couple times, but yeah, I'm trying to get it all over the place. There are a few other interesting guests I'm trying to possibly get on. I was going to say it, but I probably shouldn't. No. Just in case they say no or they get mad. But yeah, I've got some interesting people coming on, and then we're going to bring back all your favorites. Like, of course, we'll bring William back. Scott Horton is going to be coming back. He was just on Joe Rogan. So fucking shout out to Scott Horton. Shout out to Scott Horton, and also make sure to check out the Scott Horton Academy, because if you're interested in his stuff, he's offering a lot of really good formatted information, and you get a discount if you go to scotthortonacademy.com/divulgence. But yeah, my point generally just was that yeah, I appreciate the support, appreciate the patience. Sorry for the time off. I didn't really want to. I should have sent a tweet out or something, but I just didn't really want to get into it. And yeah, but things are getting back on track, getting back in the saddle. I'm hoping that we'll be back Thursday and Saturday. So look out for Thursday at the latest. And then by then I should have some more dates and stuff for you guys. And yeah, I think that's about it right now. Like I said, just double check to see if you guys are subscribed, and if you are, just share it with someone. And if you're not subscribed on Rumble and you are on YouTube, do the swap. Help me out. I'd like to kind of build an audience on both platforms. And yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, you guys know I'm always open to that. I appreciate the people that have been reaching out. And either already that I'm booking the people you've suggested, or know that I will get around to looking into them. But if you don't see it for a while, pitch it again, and I'll let you know what the status is if I can. And yeah, but yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again. We're next time. I don't know what the next topic's going to be with William, but like I said, we're definitely going to do a dissection of Blink Twice again, because I want to watch it, and so we can dig a lot deeper, and Under a Silver Lake. So yeah, check out those movies if you haven't already, and yeah, that way you can follow along and it'll be a more interesting episode. You can have more to contribute in the comments and all that, because that's always fun. And yeah, I do appreciate that from you guys. So I think that's it, guys. Yeah, make sure to go to Scott Horton Academy. Check out Scott Horton. Check out William if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you guys. All the best. And we'll see you guys on Thursday.